Hi guys, Luckfuck here and welcome to my first FIFA 20 ratings predictions video, and today I'm going to be doing it on Juventus or Piemonte Calcio, whatever you want to call them for FIFA 20. Basically I want to kind of start switching up my content towards doing FIFA 20 type of prediction and preparation videos rather than FIFA 19, because I won't lie, I'm getting pretty bored of the game, and I think judging by a lot of people as well on my channel, you guys are kind of getting a bit bored of FIFA 19. So the footies is still on to August 14th. I'm still going to cover a lot of the SBCs and footies cards that do get released up until then, but we've only basically got like a week left of that, and then it will just be all FIFA 20 content once the footies finishes. And between now and the footies finishing is going to be a mixture of FIFA 20 content and the last of FIFA 19 player reviews. So yeah, I wanted to kind of just do this video because I think it'd be interesting to do player ratings. I'm going to do them for like a lot of the big clubs in Europe, and then maybe do like leagues, so maybe like the best league for like the Liga NOS, maybe for like the Scottish League, but also focusing on a lot of like the main big clubs in Europe's top 5 leagues. So we're starting off with Juventus, and we're going to start off with the main man, Cristiano Ronaldo. I think he is going to stay at the 94 rating. I should mention on the 2018-19 stat, it only says 30 appearances. They're the games that he started in the Serie A, so I'm not including any substitute appearances for him in the Serie A. I'm not including any Champions League appearances or appearances in any domestic cup competition that he played in. Only his appearances in the Serie A that he started in. And in those appearances, he scored 21 goals and got 8 assists. So, basically 29 goal contributions in 30 games. A fantastic return. Based on that, he deserves to be a 95. The reason why EA won't give him that is because obviously a lot of things that have been going on in his personal life, and EA probably don't want to make him the sole. I think, is Messi 94 as well? I'm pretty sure Messi's 94. They won't give any of them like a higher rating. They're going to definitely be the same. There's no question about it. There's a lot of politics actually weirdly behind the whole thing for who will get the higher rating or not. But he'll remain at a 94. He won't be decreased because they just simply won't do that, and they won't increase him either. Because if they do, they may as well just increase Messi. But overall, in terms of his stats, I think they should increase it a little bit more. First of all, based on 21 goals and 30 appearances just alone in Serie A, his shooting should be increased. So in my opinion, we would see his shooting go up to maybe the likes of 94. His passing as well, because 8 assists is pretty decent. So obviously, he did get more assists in other competitions as well. I might change the stats actually for the next one of these that I do, maybe to have all the appearances across the whole season in any competition. Maybe that might be a little bit better to understand. But yeah, I think his passing should go up more because 8 assists is still pretty decent. Obviously, he would have got all the more assists in other competitions, and also 1 physical as well, because he's a very strong player, and it'd be awesome to see him go like another stat up into the 80s. So that would be an awesome card for CR7. Moving along into the next player, it is going to be Paulo Dybala, who will be staying with Juventus. There was a lot of talk of him going to Manchester United because of his lack of appearances last season in Serie A, but and appearances just in general. But due to wage demands or something, he is going to be staying at Juventus. Which is interesting. Instead, I think they might be looking to sign Mario Mandzukic instead. Manchester United. Don't get me wrong, Mario Mandzukic, good player, but obviously Dybala would have been the better signing. But just due to a lack of appearances, mainly due to the rival of CR7, Dybala's rating should be decreased. 24 appearances in Serie A last season, 5 goals, 4 assists. Not a great return. Don't get me wrong, it's not the worst return at the same time, but it's a return where I think based on that we will see him go down from an 89 to an 88. I think his shooting will go down just purely because 5 goals in 24 games is not quite the best return. Also, I think his passing might go down a little bit, and dribbling as well. EA will probably just give him like a general little decrease just because of a lack of appearances. EA tends to do that when a player's not really had the best season. So I think Dybala will go down slightly for the new season. Moving on into the third player is going to be Chiellini. I think he'll keep that 90 rated. He did start off, I believe, with an 89 rated card last season, and then was upgraded to that 90 rated card. But I think he'll keep that rating. I think he will lose 2 pace because obviously he is getting older. I believe he's 32 now, and obviously as players tend to get older, they will lose a bit of pace. So I think 68 pace potentially could even decrease even more in that. 22 appearances last season, 1 goal, 1 assist. Maybe should be getting more than 1 goal and 22 appearances just from like set pieces and stuff like that. But also, I put his passing to go up by 3 because last season in the Serie A, he had an 85% pass accuracy, which is a great return for a defender to have that kind of passing accuracy. So as a result of that, I think his passing will go up into 60. I think having only 59 passing on his card is criminal. He deserves to have much better than that. So I think his passing will be increased to 60 or at least into the low 60s. And also his physical, I decided to put up by 1 because he won an average of 2.1 aerial duels in Serie A games last season, which is actually a very good return. He is a nice, big, strong, bulky defender. And in my opinion, I think he deserves to have his physicality a little bit bumped up as a result of that. But that's going to be Chiellini. Moving on into the next player, it's going to be Emre Can, obviously the ex-Liverpool player who ran down his contract with Liverpool. Easily would have got 40 million for him had we had any sort of a contract left with him, but unfortunately, we couldn't get a deal with him. I think Liverpool haven't really missed him. It's been evidence that we obviously wanted him to go and win the Champions League and get 97 points in the Premier League last season, but he has been a good addition to Juventus in that central part of the midfield. Players like Matuidi and Pjanic are getting a little bit older. Emre Can is going to be basically the next big midfielder in the next couple seasons for Juventus. He already had a first decent season, 20 appearances in Serie A, scoring 4 goals. Impressive for the position he's playing in, and also getting 1 assist. Yes, maybe getting more than 1 assist would have been better. Having said that, I still think his passing should go up. I think he did have an 80 rated card, I believe, at the start of last FIFA. He did also get a team of the season in FIFA 19 at 91 rated. The reason, despite only the 1 assist in 20 games, I think EA are just going to give him a general good upgrade. And to be fair, his pass accuracy was at 87% last season, which again for a midfielder is pretty decent. So I put his passing up to 81 at minimum. That should be for that, for an 82 rated card, give him a 2 overall upgrade. Also, because of the 4 goals in 20 games, which is a good return from a midfielder, certainly from a central midfielder, I put his shooting up by 3, going up to 71. Arguably, you could even say he maybe deserves higher than 71 shooting. Also, his defending have bumped up a little bit because he has always been, he can play basically a variety of positions. He can play as occasionally as an attacking cam. I've seen in the past against Ajax last season, he played as a cam where they were beaten 2-1 at home, but also he typically does play as a centre midfielder or a CDM where it is his more natural position, certainly at Liverpool and mostly at Juventus, and I think his defending should be increased a little bit, as should his dribbling as well. So a nice good general upgrade to Emre Can. I think he's going to be a very expensive player at the start of next season, but one that's going to be a very, very exciting card. Moving along into the first Brazilian, we're going to have Douglas Costa again. Interesting that we haven't heard any news about him leaving. I mean, Juventus haven't really looked to maybe change. I think they seem to be pretty happy with him, but obviously, again, it's another player just like DYBALA that hasn't seen a lot of action due to the arrival of CR7. 7 appearances, 7 starts last season in Serie A. He did make an additional 10 appearances as a sub, scoring 1 goal and not registering any assists in the Serie A last season. Arguably, you could say he deserves to maybe go down to an 84 rated card, but I have just put him down by the 1 because I still think, he only made 10 appearances as a sub and he only made 7 starts in the Serie A last season. He didn't make too many more in the Coppa Italia or the UEFA Champions League either. But I think, again, it's just going to be a general downgrade to him. I'm going to put his passing down to 80 because obviously 0 assists in 17 overall games. Yes, 10 of those were as a sub, but you would still think in those 17 games he should be getting 1 or 2 assists minimum for the position that he's playing in. Also, I have put down his shooting by a couple as well because, again, once, the 1 goal, again, isn't great. And I was also tempted to put down his weak foot to a 2-star, but I have kept it at a 3-star for now. But yeah, arguably this card could maybe go down to an even 84 rated card, but he won't retain the 86 rated card for next season. There's no question he will definitely go down by a minimum 1 rating. So who knows, will he even still be at Juventus come the end of the transfer window? We'll have to see. I'm guessing he will be because Juventus don't really have anyone else lined up for that position, but yeah, I think there will be definitely a downgrade to Douglas Costa. The next player is going to be his fellow Brazilian teammate, Alexandre, who definitely enjoyed a much more rather successful season in the Serie A. 20 appearances, 1 goal and 2 assists, also playing very well in the Coppa Italia and in the UEFA Champions League up until their disappointing exit against Ajax. But once again, passing should go up by 2. Very solid defender. Registering 2 assists in 28 games. Decent return from a fullback, so I put his passing up to 79. Dribbling up by 1 as well. He is pretty decent when he's going forward as well. And defending should always be higher than 82 for this card because he's a top quality defender. Definitely probably the best fullback in the Serie A, so I have put his defending up to 84. Just to once again a general upgrade to the card. I think this would be amazing to have for the start of FIFA 20. Again, pretty expensive to have, but also another really, really solid defender who I think is still in his early 20s actually, so I think there's even more room for improvement for Alexandre. Despite him being a fantastic defender, who knows where this guy could maybe go to in the next 2 seasons. But anyway, the next player is going to be Miralem Pjanic. 27 games last season, 2 goals and 6 assists. That's actually a decent return, so I have increased him from an 86 to an 87. Again, passing going up by 2 because 6 assists from his central midfield position in 27 games, in my opinion, is a very good return. I've also put his pace up by 2 as well because 66 pace, I can just see them increasing that a little bit, to be honest. I think he always had higher pace, but EA knocked down a lot of players' pace last FIFA. I think this year we might see players regain a bit of that pace potentially in the likes of Pjanic and maybe a few other cards. But also physicality, I put up by 1 as well, just to kind of put that into the low 70s. Just again a nice little general upgrade. Very good player. I also have changed his his work rate to a high attack and medium defensive work rate purely because he got 8 goal contributions in 27 games, which does kind of show that he's a bit more inclined to an attacking attacking role rather than defensive, but I haven't put his defending at low. I still put it at medium because he does still try to defend every now and then, but I have changed that work rate to a high attack. Moving along into the next player is going to be Bernardeschi. Yeah, interesting one. A bit of a backup player, really, for them. Although, having said that, he does seem to be preferred over Juan Cuadrado for this right midfield position. He made 14 starts last season and an additional 14 appearances as a sub, registering 2 goals and 3 assists in the Serie A. Did have an 82 rated card last FIFA. Didn't go on to have any other special cards in FIFA, apart from, obviously, his generic UEFA Champions League 1 overall upgrade card. But I think for this year, he will have an 83 rated card. And then just increasing some of the stats, going with his passing up by 1, shooting and dribbling also going up by 1. He's actually got 5-star skill moves, which is something that I didn't know, which is actually pretty awesome, which might make him a relatively valuable player next FIFA, especially with him potentially being a board player if the 83s continue to be the minimum requirements for a board. Then, yeah, I think we'll definitely see an increase though for this card. And again, I think relatively young. I'm pretty sure he came from Fiorentina maybe a couple seasons ago, and definitely does seem to be the preferred player over Juan Cuadrado. So definitely a little increase there for Bernardeschi. Moving along into the first goalkeeper, and I think actually the only goalkeeper that we've got on this is because I've just done basically Juventus' main 11 as it currently stands. I don't want to make this video too long. It is going to be Wojciech Szczesny, definitely the main goalkeeper ahead of Perrin. 28 appearances for him last season, also registering 11 clean sheets. So again, overall, a nice little upgrade for him, going from an 86 to an 87. Going to go with his diving up slightly, his kicking up a little bit as well, and also his speed going up to 53. So a nice little upgrade for him. The next player is going to be João Cancelo, not guaranteed to stay actually at Juventus. There's a chance he could be going to Manchester City in a potential swap deal where Danilo, who's not had many games at all for Manchester City, could potentially go to Juventus. That would be very poor business by Juventus. They need to try and keep Cancelo. He's a very good fullback. I don't know why City want Cancelo, because Kyle Walker has showed to me yesterday in the Community Shield that he's more than good enough to be the main fullback for Manchester City and have Danilo just as their backup. But anyway, João Cancelo had 22 appearances last season, 1 goal, 3 assists. Again, this little upgrade going from an 83 to an 84. Had a lot of awesome special cards as well in FIFA 19 last year, so passing, defending, physical, all having nice little increases. Obviously, getting that passing up because 3 assists in 22 games in the Serie A is a decent return. Then moving on to the penultimate player is going to be Matuidi. For me, he's going to keep the 85 rating. I can't see him leaving. There was talk of him potentially leaving a little bit earlier on in the window, but for me, he will stay at Juventus, although probably might be his last season with them as Emre Can continues to develop into the main midfielder for Juventus. But 29 appearances, 3 goals, 2 assists, decent return. I've put some of his stats up slightly, shooting, passing as well. 3 assists for his position, 3 goals for his position isn't a bad return. So again, there's a little upgrade to him, and then we do finish off on Bonucci. I have this video is about, it's going to be about 30 minutes long. I might try and cut it down for the next one of these that we do, but yeah, Bonucci, 27 games last season, 3 goals, 0 assists. I remember this guy was at AC Milan for that one season, and he got into the team of the year. How much his career is starting to downfall now, obviously with the comments that he made recently over Moises Kean, who has recently just joined Everton, which is a great signing for Everton. But yeah, his career is starting to struggle. Definitely, there's no doubt about it. I think Rugani could potentially maybe overtake him this season. Maybe it's like one of the main centre backs for Juve. But yeah, I still have gone with a few stats going up. His passing should be higher than what it is, so I'll just increase that a little bit. Also, his physical should definitely be higher than 80. Definitely, no question about that. He's a very, very strong player, but his pace will decrease. Again, it's another defender that is starting to get older, so I believe his pace will go down to 59, maybe even more than that. But anyway, guys, that is the main ratings for Juventus. Obviously, I could have done a few additional ones like Perrin, Mandzukic, although he could potentially be leaving, obviously, to Manchester United. But hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this video. I might change the stats for the next video to have all the games from all the competitive competitions that they played. I think that might be a little bit better for you guys to understand. But yeah, hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.